6:30, so I'll call the work session of mayor and council for the city of Snellville, Georgia for Monday, January 24th, 2022 to order. Solange had let me know about 2 weeks ago that she wasn't going to be here tonight.
Oh, okay.
So she had a planned absence. First, we'll go over our really long regular business meeting agenda. We have Paxter. I'm seeing the X and Pastor Greer of Zor here for the invocation.
He's already shown up once, so I'm pretty sure he'll be here.
Oh, is it? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
I'm sorry.
I didn't recognize it.
He assured me he would be here.
Yeah, he and his wife
He's
showed up
already
for
here.
6:30, and
Oh,
so they went to get a snack.
oh.
I liked Gretchen's prayer last time. I thought that was good. And
'Cause it was
like
short.
brevity is,
And the bulldogs.
Yeah. Good job, Gretchen.
I hadn't heard.
Anyone want to lead the pledge?
Any one of us. Just
Yeah.
pick a name out of a hat.
All right, Todd's got it. We've got the recognition for the tree tonight, approval of the minutes, report from the Youth Commission. Is it, did she say Natalie?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
And she'll probably incorporate Shanty at Fletcher and the children producer.
Okay. And then we just have under new business, the first reading of ordinance 2022-01 for the park, special use permit for the alcoholic beverages. And that is it. Any questions about the regular meeting? Any correspondence?
no ma'am.
City Attorney's report?
A couple things. On January 14th, our code enforcement lead code enforcement officer went out to meet with the attorney for Snellville Pavilion as well as their property manager regarding the coyotes and trees that were down. Had a good meeting from what I understand. They actually have been working on the fence but are having materials issues getting some of the fence materials in, but are addressing it. Evidently the tree issue is Kohl's has their own portion of property that they control, and Kohl's are the ones that took down their trees. So I'm assuming, although I've not talked back to Johnny, I'm assuming Johnny then is going after Kohl's. If not, he will be instructed to do so. But so. Second, if you all recall back, I believe it was November, I had sent an email around regarding the, I think it's pronounced OISE, O-I-S-E Law Group. That is the building across from the Walmart market where they're desiring to have a right way across our right-of-way. No one had any opposition to that. Todd had some good questions I think we addressed. However, although we had indicated that the mayor could just sign that, Jay brought up a good point, and I think it's probably in our best interest to actually let you all vote. I don't want you all to have to do that today, so I'm just going to ask Melissa. She'll put that on the agenda for the next meeting. It could even be a consent item if you all want to do so, but just to have a vote to authorize the mayor to execute that easement agreement.
Knowing what's on our agenda, that would be good to be on the consent.
So,
Okay, then let's put it on consent agenda.
cool. All right, that's all. I do need Oh, Todd is.
A question about that billboard that's there. I was coming out McGee sometime over Friday and looked at that billboard, and it is in disrepair as far as its maintenance and upkeep. It's half rusty, half painted, looks horrible. And it is very close to the gateway to our city on that end. Is there anything we can do? Or is that a code enforcement issue, or is that a...
Well, all the above.
rusty, it'd be
It's,
fine.
I believe that one is not part of, I believe that is an out front billboard.
Yeah, it says life or something.
Not part of the
Yeah, it's, I
agreement.
don't think it's a clear channel sign
not.
as I recall, as I recall.
Unfortunately.
So that would not fall under our agreement that we have, which their agreement was they were gonna make sure all theirs were, cleaned up. That being said, yeah, I mean, there's certainly, it's a code enforcement issue.
We'll do a
and,
little research and
we
find
can
out,
have
contact
that checked
person.
out.
Thank you.
Yep. And I'll just need a brief executive
Okay.
session.
All right, Butch, update of projects.
All right, on the town center, we had a good discussion. Thank you for everything you did last Thursday. Got a lot more people working now, especially placemaker. Let's see, deck is ongoing, still planned to be done, probably early to mid-April. The business center, I think you saw my letter that went to the county asking for their approval of our, of your decisions. Have not heard anything back from them yet. Put a call in this afternoon, so. Thrive, Chuck has had a good call with Ramon as far as changing the term, not necessarily the terms, but the structure of the agreement, which gets us into safe area, public service, city government wise. The mosaic bench, we're still waiting on that that initial, those 3 designs that y'all will have a chance to approve. A couple of new things. I put staging area in red. OMSHIV, the road contractor, has some equipment that they need to store while they're working. We talked to the owners of the folks who bought the Tim Stewart funeral home, and we got an agreement back that came back at $5,000 a month, which is ridiculous. So we kept talking, and that is a nonprofit entity that has to have an appraisal for everything that they do. So I got in touch with Matt Redder, a local appraiser. We reduced the area that they need to use for their storage and materials lot. And so Matt is, I told him, I said, we'd like to get that down to below $500 a month. OMSHIV is fine with that. So we should have an appraisal back. Those folks have been open-minded, and I said, as long as we get that appraisal, we should be able to do that. So there will be a staging area, I feel like, at a reasonable rate, starting February, middle of February when they start their work.
Can't we just put it on phase 2 lot that we own?
Well, there's going to be, those same people are going to be working on phase 2 in April.
Wait, the same people who won't give us the ability to park our equipment we need?
Yeah.
Sounds like
Yeah.
you just push our closing back.
Well, I'm looking for alternatives. I did talk to Gretchen and Kurt, but there's really not a good place here with the market,
Right.
with court and everything. So I really think we'll work it out.
Okay.
I think we'll work it out.
Because they still have to come back through and get planning.
They're going through it,
approval.
now with Jason and the
So-
staff. Yeah. There's a lot of connections there.
Did we close on phase 2?
No, we have not yet. We're, Brian is very close to being ready to close on the market parcel. And then, now that the roadway's been approved, we're doing that survey adjustment because the roundabout impacts moves over into their property a little bit, and also on the, I guess, the northeast corner of phase 1. So when that survey gets done and legal description, we'll be ready to close on that.
So I noticed North Road is still totally closed down.
What's that?
North Road between.
That's my next item. We had a conversation with Roger and Fortune Johnson. Matt and I, we walked the roadway. We asked if it could be closed like Oak Road. Put the fencing up. They made a pretty strong argument, Todd, that for safety reasons, they couldn't do that. They've got, with their delivery trucks and everything, they said if anything, a package of trusses or whatever, if anything fell over on the traveling public lane, then, we're all in trouble. And they're, it's hard to argue with them when it comes to the safety discussion. So, I went back and, talked to Roger today and said, I got a council meeting today. Do you think, Fort Will and Fortune Johnson would reconsider? Where are we structure-wise? And they went, we walked down to the corner where the building is going to be built on Wisteria.
Mm-hmm.
That's the big problem. Working around the deck and working on that building, and there's no working room between Wisteria and
So
there.
when they have deliveries of material, they could shut down the road. And they could open it back up one lane for use by the public and the businesses that are adjacent. One of the issues I have is when we had a crane out there and it was moving 10-ton slabs of concrete, the parking lot from the bank, from the reupholstery place, sign shop, and from the car wash were not blocked off. And there was traffic coming and going while panels were being set, while deliveries were being made by semis that were carrying multi-ton pieces of concrete. Now,
Was the road open then?
the road wasn't open, but it wasn't closed across those businesses. And I was over there 3 or 4 times and personally stopped people from driving while the crane was picking stuff off of the trucks.
Off of the trucks that come in?
So I have an issue, number one, that we made a decision as mayor and council over a year ago that we would close down that road for the parking deck. And now it's being drug out much longer. It has negative impact on those businesses and on our public. I watched a lady today come down north. She went to make a left, or come down Wisteria. She went to make a left onto north and got off into oncoming
Didn't see the
traffic.
barricades?
Evidently she didn't. And she got very upset and had to do a U-turn, go down north, and go behind the Namstrom building, and I guess she went back out. I didn't stick around to find out, and I certainly didn't say, "Hi, my name is Todd, I'm your councilman." But there are ways to safely work around that. I've seen, like I said, much more intensive deliveries and materials be treated with much less care. And every time I drive by there, other than the one lift, which can safely be in one lane, it's a parking lot for their workmen. And we should not,
If we
So
we should not
let's
put-
continue this
okay.
later. I think you got your point across.
I have not heard from those businesses. And I'll go down there and knock on their doors
Okay.
and find out what's going on. And as far as the traveling public, gosh, I hope they've made accommodations by now. I'm sorry about that, that one lady there, but
I've
let's,
seen it more than once.
like I said, we'll go back and see what kind of wiggle room we can develop there. Because
Well, I was
they said
gonna
it's gonna
say,
be,
if
it would
it's
be
gonna
July.
closed down, let's use that as a staging area.
Yeah.
Because if it's gonna be closed, the workmen can park their cars over somewhere else, and we can put the construction equipment there, if it has to be closed.
We'll revisit that for sure. All right, I'll update you on that one. Annexation, like I said, it's really been on the back burner before we can give the time that it needs to push that. Sidewalk improvements, other options are due soon. We've talked to a couple other engineers. They just need a little more time to put their proposal together. 78 and 124 landscaping. Will Hunter with GDOT is back involved. He's coming to town this week to review the plans. And I told him, I said, we've had trouble when we've gone to Atlanta in a lot of different areas. I want to make sure that I've got your full support before we go to Atlanta again. So we're pushing that. ARPA funds, I apologize, the other night I got the CARES Act and the ARPA funds mixed up. The CARES Act was 2.1, 2.4 million. The total amount of ARPA is $7.5 million that we'll get. We've gotten one, it should come in 2 checks. We've gotten 50% at this point in time.
Should be by the end of May, is what I've
What's that?
been reading. The other half of that 7.5 mil should be by the end of May.
In springtime, yeah, that's what they're saying.
Do we have CARES Act money left?
We use CARES Act money to offset general fund expenditures,
Okay.
so.
That's what I was thinking.
But, and we're still waiting on the infrastructure
Right.
money. The bill passed, but it's,
Yeah,
there's
that's
still,
gonna be-
it's still in state and federal admin.
Carolyn Bordeaux is hosting another call.
She's got a get-together coming up.
This one was a Zoom call. Let's see. On the 27th, an implementation roundtable.
Okay. She'll also be here, meeting with Youth Commission on the 12th, the morning, Saturday at 10 a.m., if anybody wants to.
February 12th?
Is she coming to the next? Okay, okay.
What time is that meeting?
10 a.m.
Okay.
I'll go back and look at that email. Well, I don't know if I can.
The round table?
Yeah, to see, I don't know if that was sent to everybody.
I haven't seen it.
I don't remember seeing them.
Yeah, I saw it. It was from Matt Yarborough, right?
No, this was from Thomasia Bailey.
That's right, yeah. She sent
Yeah, I
2.
did have it.
She sent one with some general
Oh,
information.
yeah,
Yeah,
I did have that.
yeah, there
I
was,
do.
yeah,
Okay, so everybody got that?
Yeah.
I did.
Okay,
Yeah, I recognize that name now.
Yeah.
okay.
I recognize the fact that it came in 2 different emails.
And she's at Lilburn City Hall on Sunday, January the 30th at 2:30. So,
Okay,
it is an election day for them.
Yes, with redistricting.
The Briscoe Park Master Plan, we have 3 very good engineering firms putting together quotes for the design and construction of the maintenance facility. Hopefully we'll have that a review for you on the February 14th agenda.
is our current plan that we'll move forward with the maintenance building?
Well,
If we've got
you're
this
gonna have
last
three quotes to do that, to move it back to the corner of the property.
And we go ahead and do that
Just
as a first step?
just bite off a piece at a time. That's what everybody knows what Lisa and her folks are trying to work out over there and work out of. And I think we'll have some interesting proposals.
Okay.
Very good folks, a lot of experience on building different facilities. Lisa and Matt went to Sugar Hill to look at a facility that Precision Planning, I think, had put together before. So I think there'll be some interesting proposals to look at. Tax billing, Melissa and her crew are staying up to date on all changes. Delinquent notices are out. We've had some response, so we're working with folks on that. We know it's our first year of doing this.
How much delinquency do we have?
I haven't looked. It was about 1,500 bills, 1,300 bills, but I didn't look at the amount.
Oh, yeah, I was just wondering the numbers.
Yeah, about 1,300 now.
Quality of life issues. I talked with Shelley Marlott from Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful. She is going to be here for a lunch on Wednesday, February the 16th at noon. And I'd love to have 3 council members there to meet with her and talk about. Dave kind of warned me of a recent email that I was not copied on. And so there are a lot of folks out there doing different things. And I told Shelley, I said, whatever we end up doing, we're going to need her input and her help, because she's done this a long time. and they have connections that can help, you know, finish the job, if you will. So, and I know, Barbara, that's going to be I guess, a topic of conversation at the retreat too, so.
So I thought at the retreat, we could talk about, I know Gretchen, you wanted to talk about the illegal dumping and then Solange was gonna bring up neighborhood beautification, so we'll just wrap all that together and, work on plan going forward.
That's good.
And the final item, I also contacted Dennis Conway, who used to be our parliamentarian in the troubled times. And so he is looking for some time on his schedule, probably late February, where he can come either on a Saturday or an evening for a few hours and do his Robert's Rules of Orders meeting operations workshop. And I think, you know, we've got a lot of folks, Deborah's sitting down there, we've got a lot of folks working on committees that I think, committees and boards and authorities that his training can really help. So I'll keep you updated on that. He's supposed to send a proposal sometime this week.
And Kelly Stat Board would be invited as well, if you want.
Okay, thank you.
And that's
Could I
it.
also get an invite from a youth commission?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Cool.
That would be cool for them to listen. Yeah. Is there anyone else that would be interested in being here for the Gwinnett Clean and Beautiful meeting? Dave has said,
I'll be happy to,
Gretchen.
since I know you and Solange will be at work, then
I would love to be here.
yeah.
I figured it was coin toss, you win.
Okay.
Well, we have room for one more.
Oh, I thought,
Well,
Barbara.
Barbara.
Well, I could be there, or if you want to do it, I'm fine with.
well, you're mayor,
Okay.
so just let me know if you don't,
Okay.
you're not able to make it, and I'll make sure we have three.
And where is, that's here?
Yeah, it would be here. Isn't she meeting here?
So
Just
that means
upstairs in the
Jimmy John's
conference room.
or Chick-fil-A?
Maybe apples and raisins again. I mean, some people actually, you know, with our nutritionist on board, we,
Who had a candy bar?
I thought we did. I'm very proud of y'all. I mean,
Chocolate
y'all-
is good for you.
It is, but I did have raisins too.
Yeah, apples were gone. The little muffins, the healthy muffins. We're trying to change our reputation.
Healthy muffins, now there's a contradiction in terms.
I don't know about, yeah, I don't know about that.
The other thing, Butch was working on like an agenda for the retreat and just wanted to run down the council issue discussion items.
Okay, 'cause I never turned mine in.
Well, and I wanted to see if there was anything else out there because I want to make sure we have appropriate time to talk about things. So we have recycling, second floor of the library, layout and discussion on that, package sales, the zoning category review, sidewalk plan prioritization, ARPA fund uses, neighborhood beautification, and that would be along.
/ litter.
Yes, litter, you know, all of that
Dumping.
stuff, yeah, dumping, all that environmental stuff will wrap up into that. And then code enforcement. Were there other things anybody was gonna wanna bring up?
The only other thing I had sent in was, and I don't know if there's anything, we can, you know, these buildings that are vacant for long,
Vacant buildings.
long numbers of years, if there's any options out there to,
Main Street manager? That's something we want to put on the,
Can be under ARPA funds. Everything that I was thinking could go under ARPA. The only other thing that comes to mind is, police pay raise
Well, that would be budget,
budget.
in the
Yeah,
budget
okay.
item.
Yeah, we're working on
We'll have department head presentations in the morning, so we'll have Jason talking about planning, and like Butch had said, some of the stuff like the zoning categories and, if, you know, something like that might be handled under Jason's,
Code
you
enforcement.
know, that discussion might come up then, and we won't need more time in the afternoon for it.
You happy with that?
Gay Johnson, of course, will do a presentation with Public Works, then Lisa with Parks and Rec, and then Greg for police. So we'll be doing those presentations in the morning. I asked Butch to give a short little update too on our budget year-to-date
Added that to the list.
through December, so we can kind of get a mid-year check on where we are there. So if you think of anything else, then go ahead and email so we can just make sure we try to.
Yeah, it is. It's always a full agenda.
I know. I'm really thinking that we need to probably get to 2 days next year. So we might wind up having another, like a mid-year retreat or something, another couple of months. Catch up on some of these other issues.
Maybe we could do another evening like we did last.
Yeah, I thought Thursday night, I appreciate
It was
everybody
very
being
helpful.
here. I thought it was really, really productive.
I think we ought to maybe put that on the agenda to talk about
Talk about
once a
Quarterly.
quarter, have just a
updates.
work session to just talk about whatever's
Yeah.
current at the time. I
And
think
just
it'd be-
It would be appreciated. I don't want to take up, any more of your time, but that was very helpful Thursday night.
Oh, yeah, it was great, and I think we need to do it more often.
Okay. All right. Discussion of the opioid settlement.
Okay. You got something?
No, she got excited to know.
Here with opioids?
I'd forgotten about it.
So the mayor had gotten an interesting email through, I think it was through Congressman Bordeaux's office, but it was about,
He guilted you into it.
oh, and you're passing brownies.
Excellent job, Shannon, Mr. Thomas.
About uses for, getting prepared for uses for opioid money. And I think we're probably a little premature right now. I talked to our attorney, Andy Davis, earlier today. We know that we have the state MOU that we signed a few months ago. That's still trickling through. The Purdue Pharma case got kicked back for being too low. So there's going to be more money coming back on that. So there's a couple other cases that are still, the Malincourt bankruptcy case. So there's several different cases that are all still trickling. But the one thing that's true of all those is part of those settlement agreements all is that the money is going to have to go towards abating the opioid crisis. We can't use it for just general funds. But Andy and I were talking about a few different things. For one thing, probably can use it to equip all police officers with Narcan. They don't all have them now, right? Is it?
We do.
We do all have it. Okay. Well, so maybe that's something that we can help supplement. I can't guarantee this, but possibly maybe for funding a dog, maybe a possibility. And then whatever you all come up with, any kind of programs. Mayor's talking about maybe something we can do where we have all the hospitals or doctors' offices. We can have some type of outreach to them. So just something for y'all to be thinking about.
What are we projecting?
I have no idea.
There is no projection.
No, okay.
Don't really know the dollar amount.
And it could sound like a whole lot, and by the time they take all the attorney's fees
Oh,
out,
yeah.
it might be $20
I know.
per city or
Yeah.
something, so,
That's,
Yeah.
I'm almost certain that's the way it's gonna
Yeah.
be.
I think it's going to be more than $100.
I bet it's
Just
gonna be pretty
thinking.
substantial.
I mean, so, and we are one of the parties, so that was one of the good
Well-
things we're.
How many parties are there?
Well, I mean, there's a lot of parties, but I mean, there's a lot of
Thousands.
cities that didn't step up and join in. And so, they may get some of the overall, like, state money that the AG's office may get, but they're not gonna get the same money that the cities that stepped up to the plate and took part in it, are gonna be able to qualify for. So, just something to be thinking about. I don't know it's anything we need to worry too much about for the retreat, but just something to be thinking about, or some neat ideas that we can use that money for.
okay.
Okay.
All right, so now we will do our exec session.
Potential litigation.
During the work session of the Mayor and City Council of Snellville, Georgia, Mayor Bender announced that certain matters should be discussed in a closed session of the meeting and asked council to advise